Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be going for a tour of my bike garage in Grand Theft Auto Online. So this is my MC clubhouse that we're standing outside of right now, which contains, I think, pretty much every single motorcycle that I own in Grand Theft Auto Online. I have been requested to do this to show off this garage, so that's what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and hop inside real quick. So this garage is going to be a little bit harder to show one by one like I usually do, but I'm going to do my best to not spoil the next bike that we're going to be showing off. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the classic. Of course, this is the Sanchez. The Sanchez is a bike that you can steal right off the street in GTA, or I believe you can purchase this thing for, I think it's $7,000 or $9,000. It's a really good entry-level motorcycle. It can definitely take you pretty much anywhere that you want to go on the entire map, so long as it's on land. Obviously, it's based off of, well, like an average dirt bike. I don't really know dirt bikes too well, but it's definitely a dirt bike. So the Sanchez, you can't go wrong with this thing. I mean, it's super cheap. The upgrades are cheap as well. Like, I think you can probably have a fully upgraded Sanchez for like less than $100,000, which is pretty damn good. So it's a great bike. I definitely recommend it. And it's one of the fastest off-road vehicles in the entire game. In certain off-road races, this thing will be banned. You're not allowed to use motorcycles in some of them. However, in others you are, and the Sanchez is the second fastest. Actually, you know what? I think it's the third fastest off-road vehicle in GTA Online. So that's pretty cool. On to the next bike, of course, we have the Nagasaki Bf400. This is the fastest off-road vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online in terms of racing. Of course, in the races where it's not banned. This thing goes for, I believe it's $94,000 or $84,000, one or the other. And I think it's actually $85,000, so my bad. This thing's got a little more customization you can do to it. It's got some livery options. The Sanchez does too, but overall, I feel like the Bf400 is just kind of a better looking bike. It's super fun to, ride around. Definitely very quick. You can, climb up Mount Chiliad with the Bf400 like it's absolutely nothing. It's literally so easy. It's just a great bike. I mean, there's really not much to say. It's awesome, and it's better than the Sanchez in every way. Does cost a little bit more, but it's still under $100,000 for the initial purchase price, so that's, it's pretty damn good, I gotta say. So yeah, there you have it. Of course, next up we have the Cliffhanger. Now the Cliffhanger is a really cool bike. I really like this thing. Obviously mine's pretty subtly built, I guess. It's all blacked out. There's nothing really too special about this bike. I just really like how it looks, and I like riding it in GTA, semi occasionally. I'm not a super huge bike guy, I won't lie, so it's not very often that I ride many of these things, but obviously the ones that I have, I mean, they're the ones that I use, so that's pretty much that. Yeah, the Cliffhanger's good. It's a cool bike. Not much else to say, really. Next up, we have the Sanchez Scout. Now this thing is it's an interesting bike because it has an infinite wheelie on it, and it's also got a wheelie that you can steer relatively well with. I don't know if you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this, but most bikes, when you're doing a wheelie on them, have a hard time turning from side to side. The Sanchez actually has a pretty easy time turning from side to side, so if you want to go around a corner on the Sanchez, you will have a much better time on it than any other bike. Now that's not saying it's actually going to go around the corner while you're doing a wheelie, but it is pretty damn good. As well as it also has a ton of customization. As you guys can see, all these boxes that are on this thing, those are all customization options, so that is pretty cool. Sanchez Scout, I think it's relatively cheap. I want to say this thing goes for around 200,000. It might even be less, it might be a little more. Really good bike though. I haven't driven this since I customized it originally, so I gotta be honest, but it's a cool bike, so there you have it. Next up, of course, we have the Western Nightblade. This is probably my favorite older style motorcycle that I have in this garage. I love the look of this thing. I think it just looks so clean. Obviously this thing's done in black, just like the Cliffhanger is. This bike, I don't know, it's got a bit more customization than the Cliffhanger, I feel like, and it's just a better looking bike in general. I don't know, I think it looks so damn good. I mean, just in black and everything like that with the red calipers, like that is so cool. Great bike. Not super fast, not going to win you any races. None of these three are. They're just not that quick, but I mean, they are pretty cool, so there you have it. On to the next bike. This is a stolen Western Damon. As you guys can see, it's not even insured because I haven't ever customized it, but it is really cool. It has the Lost MC logo on it, on the seat there and on the rear seat. It's also got flames on it, and I feel like it's just a really detailed and just kind of a cool looking bike, so that's why I have it in here. Like I said, I haven't even customized it, so I can't even really tell you guys if it has many customization options, but it's a cool bike, I can tell you that much. So Anyway, there you have it. Up next, we have the Botty 801RR. Now this thing is one of the better bikes in the game. It goes for $15,000, which is like super cheap, and it is the 4th or 5th fastest bike in the entire game. I actually think it's the 5th fastest bike in the entire game. So the Botty 801RR and the Botty 801 are virtually exactly the same. There is a rumor that the 801RR is a little tiny bit faster than the regular Botty, but I don't know that it's actually necessarily true. Both of them are really good. Both of them have a really good wheelie. You can wheelie for such a long time on these bikes. So that's just, you know, another good feature about them, I guess. The Botty for 15 grand, you cannot go wrong with this thing at all. I mean, it's a fantastic bike. Looks really cool. There's a couple different livery options on the RR version. Overall, I mean, it's just a great bike. You guys should definitely pick one up if you don't have one already. Next up, we of course have the Hakuchu Drag. Now, the Hakuchu Drag, I have this one on my PC character, and I have the Hakuchu Drag HSW, or the How Special Works edition of this thing, on my expanded and enhanced character. The HSW upgrade makes the Hakuchu Drag literally the fastest land vehicle in all of Grand Theft Auto Online. So around a circuit, the Hakuchu Drag HSW, in theory, will kill absolutely everything. The HSW variant has extremely good brakes, extremely good acceleration, and a really high top speed. However, the regular version of the Hakuchu Drag, I mean, it's still, I believe, the 3rd or 4th fastest bike in the entire game, so you're still not going to lose any races. I mean, it's just fantastic, really. So the Hakuchu Drag for like 938,000, I think it is. It's a great bike to pick up. The performance is absolutely amazing, but for only 15 grand, you can get very close to the performance of the Drag. It's just not quite as fast. So anyway, both are great bikes. I'd recommend picking up both of these, actually. They're absolutely awesome. And obviously the Bf400 and the Sanchez, those are really cool too. Let's move on to the next bike though. And of course, next up we have the Nagasaki Shinobi. This came out with the contract DLC. This is one of the most expensive bikes in the entire game. I think it goes for somewhere around $2.4 million, which is an insane price to pay, but it is the 2nd fastest bike in the entire game. So long as the track has a lot of corners. The Shinobi is really good in corners. It's pretty good in a straight line too. It has a really good wheelie on it as well. You can wheelie for a really long time with this bike. However, it's not exactly my favorite, especially being that it costs, you know, $2.5 million. That is kind of a lot of money, so that's a little bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. The Shinobi, I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. It's great, but not super necessary to own it, especially with the next bike coming up, which is of course the Reaver, the Western Reaver, that is. The Western Reaver has an insane speed glitch that you can do with this bike. If you just wheelie it and go straight, this thing can go insanely fast. I think it has a top speed of 167 miles an hour, making it, I believe, the 2nd highest top speed bike in the entire game, and the only bike that can beat this thing is the Gargoyle with the speed glitch. So the Gargoyle can also do a crazy speed glitch if you're going straight and you do a wheelie. So there you have it. So both of these bikes are insanely good on tracks with like long straightaways. I would say that the Reaver actually does have a chance of being the fastest bike in Grand Theft Auto Online if the track you're playing on has enough straightaways, because obviously the speed glitch, if you're topping out at like 40 miles an hour faster than everyone else on every straightaway, that is gonna get you some ground. Even if this thing may not be as good in the corners as something like the Shinobi, for example, the speed glitch is just absolutely insane. The Reaver also has a lot of customization, so does the Shinobi, I should mention that as well. So if you're into customizing bikes, both of these are pretty good for that. Just before we end the garage tour, I figure I might as well show you guys the Reaver speed glitch, because it is pretty crazy, and it has been a while since I've done it, so I should probably make sure that it still exists. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and lean back on the bike, and as you guys can see, the screen starts to sort of vibrate, and that's when you know the speed glitch is happening. It's absolutely insane how quick this bike is. As you guys can see, we are absolutely hauling right now. The only thing is with the speed glitch, the brakes on this thing are not equipped enough to be able to stop necessarily as fast as you would want to, so that is a bit of a thing. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more garage tours, I think I have a few more that I could probably do for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.